What's going on, everybody? I wanted to speak on something real quick. What up, doggy? Come here. Yeah, I wanted to speak on something real quick, but I just have a little man. Tear it all up, tear, tear it all. She just want to say hi. What's up, everybody? What's up? I just want to say that my power is the best, and that's not what we rehearsed. We didn't rehearse that. You weren't supposed to be. We're supposed to be doing all that. But anyways, I wanted to speak on something that is very important, and that is the boomerang and the arrow. The concept of the boomerang and the arrow is the concept of the lie and the truth, right? Because what is a boomerang at the end of the day? You know what a boomerang is? It's not the old cartoon shows that us millennials used to watch when we were little kids, all right? A lot of y'all Gen Zers know nothing about that. But boomerang, a boomerang, right, is a little triangle shaped sort of thing with a little curve inside the triangle. And when you throw it, it's supposed to swing around and come back to you, right? In case you didn't know what a boomerang is. That's what a boomerang is supposed to be, right? An arrow, I think we all know what an arrow is. You know, you shoot it out of a bow, you let it go. It definitely doesn't come back. It goes exactly where it's sent off to, right? Now, the concept of this boomerang versus an arrow, the lie and the lie and the truth, right? When it comes to lies, they work a lot like boomerangs, to where when you send it out, eventually, slowly but surely, or quickly, depending, right? It's going to come back and get you. It's going to come back right to you. All the lies that you send out there, right? Any lie that you put out there, lying that you're greater than what you are, lying about somebody else, talking bad about other people, you know, living a certain way and speaking a different way, or speaking one way and living another way. All sorts of all sorts of lies, right? They eventually come back to you, right? The lies are always exposed, and they're always sent back to the sender, right? At the end of the day, right? How do we know this, and why does this happen? How we know this to be is because, let's say we're saying a certain thing. Let's just say like a random lie that I'm making up. Let's say because I go to church. Let's just say I went to church on. I say that I went to church on Sunday, right? I lied about that. Who did I lie to? I lied to my friends. Let's just say a better lie. A friend asked me to hang out on Sunday. I lie and say I can't because I'm going to church, and then that day comes and I don't even go to church. I just stay home. Right? I didn't care to. I didn't really want to go out, but I didn't just say the truth, and I didn't go to church with something I also said I say I do, and I just didn't do. That could come back in many ways. It can come back with your friend randomly. Let's say your friend does this, and they know the church you go to. They go to the church, and you're not there, or they go to your house and you're at your house instead of being there. Or more importantly, the trust in yourself that you want to build up, you start to lose, right? Let's say nobody finds out. Your friend doesn't find out. Church people are not really that concerned. It's church. It's a bunch of people that go to church. They're not concerned. But the person who knows is you. And I'm a biblical man, so I always mention God. God knows. If you're not a biblical person, if you're not a godly person, your subconscious knows, right? What you send out will come back to your subconscious, will come back to God. God will always know, right? The voice inside your head will always know. And the trust you start to develop in yourself, or you start to lose within yourself, is based off the lies that you tell in comparison to the way you're living, right? Yeah, I didn't tell my friend no, I didn't want to hang out with them. I just didn't say it. I could have. But what my subconscious is going to hear is that, okay, I guess we can't trust the fact that you can't, first of all, be honest with you not wanting to hang out. Your subconscious starts to question whether this person is actually your friend, because the morals inside of you tells you, well, if this is my friend, I'm going to tell them the truth. So if I'm not telling them the truth, it's hard for me as your subconscious to keep believing that that is your friend. So what's going to start happening is the way you move around this person, how you speak to this person afterwards, starts to become a little bit less truthful and more fake. You start living in the shadows when it comes to this person. And eventually this person will notice, especially if they were receiving more honesty from you before, when they were more in the light of your friendship. They're going to notice that whenever they come into your house, as in your house of friendship, they're going to start to notice that the light is becoming dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, and eventually they're going to call that out. So what you thought was one honest lie, your subconscious is going to register as that, oh, I, I can't trust this person. Now again, I'm speaking from a term of somebody who's like not so godly. I'm a man of God. God knows, right? God will start to treat you accordingly and start to present you in a way accordingly to yourself, right? The guilt and the shame, the spirit is going to start talking to you. It's like, hey, you weren't being frank, you weren't being honest, right? Now you can't be surprised then now if this friend who you think is a friend starts to be acting towards or starts acting dishonest towards you, right? So not only is it your own and not only is it your own shame, your own guilt coming back at you, but what you get back in return is more lies coming from other people, including this friend. You never know who this friend is going to talk to about you to other people. So other people start treating you a certain way when they start noticing that you're somebody who moves on lies instead of the truth, right? So what you get back is more so than just your lie. You get back in return a multiple of other lies and motivations and actions towards you and insights and perspectives about you. Because what you thought was a little white lie ends up being something else. Imagine how greater the comeback, depending on the the magnitude of the lie being told, right? That was off of really basic lie of like, no, I just don't really, instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm not really trying to hang out, I'm actually going to go to, I actually do go to church," and you go to church, right? As opposed to, no, I can't really hang out because I go to church, and you don't even do that. Depending on your faith and depending on how big of a deal that is to you, going to church, uh, that's either a very egregious lie or just a little white lie. Either way, you're going to get that back tenfold. Again, it's the compounding of your lies that start to get set in place. That's the boomerang line effect, right? Now, a truth, I equated that to be more like an arrow. Because when you shoot that out, you don't necessarily need that to come back to you, right? An arrow is very straightforward, it's true, it's honest, right? It doesn't beat around, it doesn't do anything, it goes exactly where you send it, right? It leaves a mark. It's harsh, right? It's pointed, it's direct, it's sure. When you shoot that arrow, where you send it is going to go exactly where you're aiming it. No deviation about it, right? An arrow has a great effect. And it's not to say that I guess that truths don't come back to you, but they're not required. Like, let's just say this. Let's use the same example. Hey, your friend asks you out. You tell them, I genuinely, I would love to, but I can't go out because I go to church. So the day comes up, you can't hang out, but you go to church, right? People can corroborate your story, you're there. But again, most importantly, your subconscious or God saw you with your free will actually go to church and actually stick to the word that you said. Which your subconscious is now going to tell you, okay, what is true is that this person is my friend and this is a friend of ours because I told the truth to this person, and now subconsciously I'm going to keep viewing this person as a friend because I was willing to tell them the truth in the first place. Subconsciously I trust myself more because what I said was going to happen, I made sure that it happened, right? Unless, I broke my leg, my car broke down, or like I died, I don't know. Like, I went to church because I said I was. And even more so because of my assurity, my truthfulness, my subconscious is going to tell me, or, God is going to tell me, the Holy Spirit is going to tell me, hey, set up another time with this person because I see this person as a friend. If I'm telling them a lie and like I see this person not really worth my truth, right? Worth me being like my truthfulness, not my truth. There is one truth, right? And that's God. There's one truth. But my truthfulness, they're not deserving of that. I'm not going to set up another time generally. I mean, there'd be no point. Like, why? I mean, that person wasn't worth you being honest with them in the first place. You're probably not gonna set up another time. But if you genuinely wanted to go, or let's say you didn't, you tell them, hey, I'm not really interested at the moment. I mean, I do have church, but I actually just feel like staying in at this time, right? Um, I'm guessing if this is a friend, you want to spend another time with them. I mean, that's depending on who you are, and that depending on who this person is who's asking you out, stuff like that, and asking you to hang out. But what is sure is that your honesty is going to lead you in the right direction, and your consciousness is going to be aware of that. So every time you shoot that arrow, it's going to be even more further on target. You're strengthening that truth. It doesn't need to come back to you because what you sent out was true and was honest, and it left its mark, and you're good to keep moving. Your subconscious doesn't need to hold on to that necessarily. It remembers it, but it's not gonna. You're not gonna receive back more truth. I mean, the truth was I went to church, and your conscious is gonna remember that. God's gonna remember that, right? The Holy Spirit is gonna remember you being honest. Very good. You're just gonna keep moving forward, and you're building up that truthful muscle. It's the lies that bring back the extra things. It's not just a lie that you put out. Again, it's what it collects when it comes back. And again, we can say the truth the same way, but the truth doesn't bring anything back. It's the truth is already carrying exactly what it needs, right? It's going to go on the journey that it goes on, and where the truth lands, that's just where it lands. It doesn't need anything extra back. See, lies, it's kind of like lying to people, and how lies generally sometimes work. They're very loud. They're obstructive. They have to crowd around. They have to collect a scene, right? Sending a bow and arrow out or a boomerang out, it's gonna go throughout the entire scene, right? It's gonna be very visible. It's loud, essentially. Arrows are very quick. They're fast. You might not even see it if you're looking. The truth, a bow and arrow is slower. It's canvassing the space and it's gonna come back to you. Like telling lies to people, right? Most lies are very bold. They're loud. They're obnoxious even. They take up a lot of space. They need to. Lies need all the attention in the world. The truth doesn't. The truth can be whispered. The truth can be quick, and yet can be just as powerful as the boomerang, if not more so. An arrow can cause way more damage than a boomerang can. A boomerang might catch a lot of attention, but the truth can really create some damage, right? And I mean, hopefully for the truth for good matters, but the damage, truth can cause a lot of damage to a lie, right? I can get more on that where like the truth really knows how to irritate a lie. Lie is not so much of the truth. If I were to put a bow and arrow and an arrow and a boomerang together, right? Obviously you need the bow for the arrow, but point is at the arrow. If I were to set them towards each other, more often than not, unless this boomerang is made of steel or something, which that kind of make it hard for it to fly. A lot of time boomerangs are set in plastic or a lighter wood, right? That compared to an arrow being shot out as quickly as it is, more often than not, that boomerang is going to go down. Boomerang versus an arrow going head to head, I fear for that boomerang if it's even going to be in one piece, right? The truth is always going to disrupt a lie. The truth is always going to irritate a lie, right? An arrow is true. Truth is it's sure. It's true. It's honest. It's never going to be irritated by the lie. It's not going to be disrupted by the lie. It might not be as loud. It might not be as obvious, but it's never going to be disrupted by a lie because the truth is just all it is. There's no ulterior motives. There's nothing else that it needs to do except just go exactly where it's being sent. The truth is very sure in this point. So when it comes to the boomerang and the arrow, that's my thought about it. I just thought I'd throw that little analogy out there. So just understand what you're casting out. Are you casting out a boomerang? Are you shooting out an arrow? Right? When you throw that boomerang out, you're going to be collecting a lot more than what you think when it comes back. All right, it's not just the lie that comes back with it. It's all the other deceptions and perspectives again that comes back with it. But the boomerang or about that arrow, you shoot that out when you're sure it's true. After you let it go, you don't have to worry about that anymore because it's true. It's real. It's honest. Well, that's my take on the boomerang and the arrow. Let me know what you think down below. If you think that's a pretty, solid analogy. If you have your own analogies for lies versus truth, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Other than that, catch y'all next time. Peace out.